Hi everyone, welcome to the Front Porch Knitters podcast. This is where I talk about yarny things and crafts and family and my yard, and some of it's mental health issues and some of it's just because I need to talk about it. And this whole pandemic thing, living in a rural area, means I'm still pretty isolated. I don't see very many people at all. So as you can see, today we are not on my front porch because it's very windy out there. So we're on my back deck, which is also a favorite spot to knit. So you get to see it all. And as you can tell, my backyard neighbors are very, very far away. I don't even know if you can see their house, but they don't bother me. I don't bother them. It's pretty quiet. So this is episode 4. I want to say 2.0, but it's probably like 6.0. This episode was first recorded on August the 15th. And to say that there were some technical issues would be an understatement. Plus life and, other things going on. And I just decided, rather than try and figure out how to get that other video to upload, we would just start fresh and do a new one, because it can't be any harder than it was before. My name is Lucy Ann, and I am the Front Porch Knitter. And if you're new to my broadcast, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have some fun, like what I do, see some things that you might like to try yourself, find out about some new dyers or some new makers, and just share. That's what I love. I need to talk about my knitting, and with my stitch groups down and some of my my local knit group that I'm involved with, several of the ladies are quite a bit older and the younger women are very busy. So the older ladies are struggle with the technology, so haven't really joined in even when we've done them online. And the younger women are hit and miss because their lives are crazy. They have young children, and I'm kind of in the middle. And my kids don't care what I do. They call knitting my sport, and they always ask when I come home if I won. So yeah, we have a pretty athletic family, but I am the least athletic among us. Although I enjoy sports, so don't get me wrong. I'm going to hopefully catch you up from July, because August was a fail. And there's some things that weren't even whips the last time I videotaped. Some of them weren't even whips when I started this episode a month ago. So there's some really cool stuff, and I like some things that I'm already know I'm going to knit another one. So that's always fun, because that makes it that's when you know you hit the jackpot and you found something that's perfect for you, when you go, ooh, I need this in another color. And that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm going to start with my whips that are finished. So my finished objects. This is the squishiest, most amazing piece of fabric. And it's been well used. We had a family event here last weekend with my husband is from a very large family, and every Labor Day weekend, whoever is able gets together, and we excuse me, and we do a potluck. And we had perfect weather, so we were able to do it outdoors, and it was great, but it was a little chilly. And so a couple of my sister-in-laws wore this. And this is my Vertices Unite by Stephen West. And it was so much fun to knit. And I love how it showcases these amazing single skeins. Just some really, really great yarns. So this is section 1. And it is the darker color. And you can't really tell that maybe, but the darker color is... no, that's not section 1. This is section 1. The darker color is hedgehog fibers in the colorway Goblin, and the lighter is Julie Aslin Fino, which has some silk in it, in I think Sage is the colorway. Then I don't know what section 2 was. I think this was section 2, and this is Zen Yarn Garden in Dreamscape and Dragon Fruit. 3 is this, and I love this yarn, and I wanted something to showcase it in. This is Ancient Arts yarn in Be Happy, B-E-E Happy, and it is just an amazing blend of grays and golds and yellows, and I don't know how true the color is back here today, but it was great. And then this is the Dreamscape and the Sage, and this is the Goblin on its own. And it was just so much fun to do. And then I did the I-cord bind off in the Dragon Fruit, just for a little pop. And it's easy to wear, and it's light and flowy and big and squishy all at the same time. I don't know how long I'll be able to keep it on, but it is just feels so amazing on. And yeah, I just love it. I can hardly wait to be able to really wear it, which will be a lot of fun. So that's it would have been a work in progress last time I podcasted. It's just yummy. And it smells good too. My soap yarn wash. So then the summer always is a lot of little project knitting because it tends to have a lot of car knitting in it most years. This year there was as well, because we did go to the East Coast in July and spent some time at my parents' cottage, which was really great because it meant I could spend some time with them, because living here in southwestern Ontario, I don't get to see my parents in New Brunswick very often. So they opened up and we were allowed to visit, and we took all the precautions, and we were very cautious, and we were all double vaccinated. So I figured it was a good chance for us to go. So there's a lot of little projects. Now some of these are from before that. These are my Petunia Dursley double eyelet socks. And I don't even remember who they're by, but I'll link them down below. They're on Ravelry. It's a free pattern. And this was To The Max Yarn Co. sock set in, I think it was called London Fog, and I don't know what the mini was called, but I just love them. And it's I've Partridge heel flap and gusset. But I just love that little bit of lace, really shows off nicely. So those are finished, and they were fun to knit. I used to do a ton of vanilla socks because socks were always my takeaway knitting. And when I'm at my other job doing festivals and events and things like that, I always needed something knitting that was easy to pick up and put down. And vanilla socks are that. You can just, pick them up, set them down. If you make a mistake, you don't worry too much about ripping back. But because I've not been doing those things, because we haven't been leaving the house, I've been doing more fun things. So these are the same yarn, the To The Max Yarn Co. And I'm sure the colorway was called London Fog, but I don't have the ball band anymore. These are Tracie Millar's Summer Crush Shorties. And I just love this. I'm going to be knitting more of these because I just love the way they knit up. And I love the cable. It's just a really simple, easy, fun sock. And the cuff is cable ribbed, so I don't know how well you can see that. There. They were a lot of fun to knit. I really enjoyed those too. And I will link that pattern as well. And Pride. So my Pride socks weren't done the last time we chatted. So I do have those here. These are, I want to say timber yarns, but I'm not positive. I'm pretty sure that's who they are. I can check my, it'll be on my, if you go to my project page, all of these, everything I'm showing is, there's a project page for it, and my project pages aren't really detailed, but they do tell you the pattern and the yarn. And sometimes that's all they tell you. But if that's what you want to know. These ones had no pattern. These are just a vanilla sock I did myself and used a slip stitch at the color change. The heels and toes were, I think they might have been left over from a perfect pair of socks I knit earlier this year, and I didn't use all the heel and cuff color. So there was some left over and it went with these nicely, so I popped it in there. But I love this. This colorway was over the rainbow. I do know that. I will have to double check who the yarn was from, but I think it was I'm almost positive it was a twin sock from Timber Yards, and I will show you some others. And I have enough of the stripe left to do a pair of shorties as well. I just haven't done them yet. But those were fun to knit. And then the next thing I did, I don't have a lot of, what do I want to say? Adventurous yarn and knitting friends. I know lots of people who knit, but so some of it is because I am of a certain age. A lot of the people I know who knit for more utilitarian reasons than I do. Does that make sense? I have always loved fiber. I've always loved the feel of luxurious fibers, and I am a very social person, so I also like the social part of knitting, and that's what I've really been missing. So I picked up actually I bought two of them. They're Full Moon Fibers has, they're called Lucky 50/50 sock sets, and it's two 50-gram skeins. And this one happens to be Living in the Moment and Blue Breeze. I picked up two of them, and I sent one to my friend Heidi, who lives in New Brunswick, who I've known for a long time, and said, whenever it works for you, let me know. We'll cast them on and knit together. And so we did this in, it was a few weeks ago, and we both did the, I don't know if I have a good picture here. Oh yeah, here it is. We did the Rhinebeck Roomies sock pattern by the Crazy Sock Lady Designs, and you can find that on Ravelry. And we, like, back and forth, we cast on the same day, and here they are. Let me put them on my blockers. This was so much fun, and I will tell you that if you choose to do a pattern like this one, there's some crazy sock yarn chicken going on here. I was measuring all the time, weighing what I had left to make sure I had enough, and I opted to do a Fish Lips Kiss heel because I knew without the gusset I would use less of the main color, so I was okay. I think Heidi did a heel flap and gusset, and I think she had like maybe 5 or 6 feet of yarn left of the in the moment left. But these are so, oh, I love this pattern. I love this yarn. It's squishy, it's soft, it's blue. And you want to know the best part? I have the memory of doing them with Heidi. And every time I look at them or put them on, I'll always think of her, which is great. And I hope the same is true for her. It was such a fun knit. The messages flew back and forth, pictures, questions. We did have to adjust a little bit because of, so we made the leg a little bit shorter than the pattern called for, but not much, like maybe an inch to make sure we would have enough for the foot. But these are just so amazing. If you have a friend who, even if they don't live close to you, and there are several companies that do this. I really like the Full Moon Fibers. They're close to me. It's easy to get their wool. But I know even in the US, Crazy Sock Lady, she does share a pair every month with Mandy from Mandy's Makings. So yeah, just look at the colors in there though. Just amazing. I'm really, these can now go in my sock drawer. They've been in my finished object basket, which really is a basket full of finished objects, for a while. The other thing I finished, and I knit this on this is car knitting as well. If you have not made a Musselburgh hat by Ysolda Teague, and you are a person who commutes like on a train, or needs some flight knitting, or just mindless knitting that you can pick up and set down, this is an amazing pattern. And this is it might be my 4th or 5th one. I just love it. You knit this long piece of fabric. You start from nothing, get up to the number of stitches you need, and it's like the pattern is like a recipe based on the size of your head and your gauge and your needle size and all the other things. And then you knit for the length it says, and then you decrease to nothing, and it goes up inside itself like I showed you earlier. Now let me see if I can find, I don't know if I brought it out. We can talk about this yarn a little bit, because this is I don't think I brought out the card. This is from Gauge Dye Works, and this yarn is literally a feat of engineering. This is their solar system, and you'll see it again. This is the one-way stripe. I have the two-way as well because I have a pair of socks on the go. It starts with the sun, and then the gray in between is the distance from the sun to the next planet, which if I was really intelligent, I would know what it was. And then the pink is the next planet, the gray is the distance between, and there's a guide that tells you, and the next planet, and then so on. This is Earth, blue is Earth. And this is the distance between Earth and, one of these is Mercury and the other is Mars, the pink and red, and I'm not sure what the order is, but you get the idea. And then Jupiter and I think Venus, I can never remember the order, but you see how it goes? Each color also represents the diameter. The size of the stripe represents the diameter of the planet in relation to the other planets. It's so cool. And I think I'm missing one. I think if I kept knitting, there would have been one more. But my fabric was already long enough. It is so amazing. Literally a feat of engineering, this dyeing. And she does, I have a couple of other things to show from her that I really, really like. And this yarn came with the card explaining it all, and a leather tag, which I haven't put on here yet, that says it's the solar system colorway from Gauge Dye Works. But just amazing. And these hats, I love them. So they're really stretchy, 4 layers of fabric over your ears, 2 on the crown of your head. You could do them so they're reversible if you wanted to use other yarn, but I really like the way they come together. And not too heavy, because that is also an issue. Like if they're too warm, I know that sounds crazy, too warm. Can a hat be too warm? Yes, a hat can be too warm. But I just love them. And literally around and around and around and around and around in circles is stockinette, for the most part. The only time you need to think and switch to either to magic loop or DPNs is for the increase and decrease. Perfect car knitting, or knit night knitting or Zoom meeting knitting or whatever, wherever you knit that you need to not be thinking about your knitting. It's perfect for that. So, can you hear the birds singing? They're in this, let me see if I can do this. That tree is full of birds. And they're just singing up a storm out there. That's what I love about my yard. So, I'm gonna do this one next. It smells like a campfire because we had a bonfire the night of our family get together and we roasted hot dogs and all those things. This is my Autumn League pullover. This, for sure, I am knitting another one. I probably could have gone down a size. I have the problem that I have very broad shoulders and I have a fairly large arm circumference, but I don't have a very big bust. And I think I probably would have been safe going down a size in this one, but the measurements don't add up exactly, but it doesn't matter because this is like, look at this. It's like your favorite sweatshirt that you stole from your boyfriend in high school and you've had forever and you just love it and cozy. It's got this cute little split hem detail. I did do it as per the pattern. So yoke in the round, split for sleeves, and then I seamed, not that you can see it, but I seamed the side, knit the front and back flat, and then seamed it. And I knit the sleeves flat and seamed them. I might knit the sleeves in the round if I did it again, but I do like the structure that the side seams give the sweater, and they stop it from, because you knit in the round, the natural tendency is for it to turn a little bit, and that side seam stops that, which I like. But it is so soft, and I love this detail. Just like off the rack. I am for sure doing this again. It is knit in, and cost effective, crazy cost effective. I ordered the kit from Line Brand Yarn, and I am pretty sure it was on sale. I might have paid $50 for it or something like that. And I have yarn left over because I always second guess myself on sizing, and I wasn't sure what my gauge would be like with this in cotton. So I do have I have enough left over to knit a tank, I think. It is cotton jeans, 100% cotton, 218 yards, 200 meters per 100 grams. And it is a DK, so a weight is 3 light. And this yarn does not come in a lot of colors. They're all kind of have that denim-y feel. And I don't know what this one is called. That's lot 924. I don't know if it tells me what color it is. It's gray of some sort. Yeah, gray fade is the color, it says in very tiny print right there. So, but this, I've worn this quite a bit already because it's perfect for summer evenings. It's going to be perfect with this shawl in the fall, like just that little extra warmth around your neck. It's cozy, it's soft, like unbelievably soft, and it smells like a campfire. But I am loving it. Loving it. And it did block, and that's the other reason I think I could go a size smaller. It did block out, the sweater blocked a little more than my swatch did. But I do still love it. It is so comfy. And I've had a request for one already, so that usually means that I did a good job if someone else in the family says they'd like to have one. And I also just did, so that I talked about that in our last little conversation. This one was not even a glimmer. This is the Simple Summer Tank, and I love it, except that this twisted rib grew more than it should have. So I have to do some surgery on it to shorten up the straps, because of course this is where you start, and I'm not ripping the whole thing out. But it's just a little tank, and it's just a little too deep here right now. So I'm just gonna do, I've got an idea to do some, you know, in one life I would just turn it in and stitch it down and pretend I didn't notice. But in this life I might do some sweater surgery and actually do it the right way. But it is also very nice, very soft, really nice weight, but not hot, which is good. I did wear it over a sports bra one day and it was okay, but I really do want to shorten it up in here because yeah, it just, I wouldn't have worn it without something I was willing for people to see. And that was knit in, again, a super affordable yarn. This is Lion Brand 24/7 cotton, and it is a worsted weight. And the color was terracotta, which showed pretty pink, but really is very, it is more like terracotta. It's got brown undertones in it for sure. And 100% mercerized cotton. And I'm just looking to see if I can find the yardage on here for you. 100 grams, 170 meters, 186 yards. So I barely went into the fourth ball. So a smaller size 3 would for sure be enough. Which, and again, ordered from the Lion Brand website. It comes super quick and super affordable and makes a really nice sweater. So this is yarn that I've had in my stash for a long time. If you go back on my Instagram, I've probably had it for a year and a half or 2 years. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. I sort of thought I wanted to do a love note. And literally, like I'm ready to cast on another love note. Like this one I finished and we wove in the ends last night. I have not blocked it yet. So it's not, but look at those colors. I am just like, I love it. I love the way it fits. I love the way it feels. It's just beautiful fabric. And this was, so it's 2 strands held to, you can do it as 2 strands held together, or you can knit it with DK, your choice. This one is Holst Super Soft in the colorway Ice, which is a very, very, very pale blue, and SBY Mercantile, Shirley Bryan yarn, the lovely Becky Paul. This is Maverick Mohair Lace Silk in the colorway Yimador, J, turn it around, you guys can read it. Say it however you think it is said. So it was 2 skeins of this, so 100 grams of this for 920 yards, 450 yards per 50 grams. And these I used, I think I used 3 of these because they're 50 gram skeins, and I needed 287 meters, and I needed, like I should have weighed it. I just have a tiny, tiny bit of each left, but I did have enough. And I just love it. Like why is it taking me so long to knit a love note? I don't know. I love the colors. I love the way the pale of the, could use a little more light back there, but then I'd be in the wind. The paleness of the Holst Super Soft shows off the beautiful colors of the Shirley Bryan yarn without being stark, like it blends in. So there's no contrast between the two. And look at that halo. I can hardly wait to wear it. I did make the mistake of knitting it with a black t-shirt on though. And yeah, little bits everywhere. And because I was a little worried if I was gonna have enough yarn, and I love this high-low, I did do the provisional cast on for the neck, and I knit the body a couple of inches past the split. And then I went back and knit both sleeves to make sure they were long enough, because then I could decide how long I wanted my body to be, because there is a crop version and a longer version. I did have enough to do the longer version, but I didn't want to do that and then not have enough for the sleeves. So I then knit the sleeves and added the ribbing at the neck, and then finished out the body. And those short rows in the back, super easy. Love that high-low look. I'm pretty excited. I will block this today and maybe wear it next time. So that will be really fun. That's a lot of whips, and I think there's probably a few more. Like, I suspect I have a couple pairs of socks that I couldn't find today. Because of course, after I recorded on the 15th of August, and today is the 11th of September, I put everything away where it belonged and then had to go find it back. Not easy. So now, because I cast off a sweater last night, my whips look a bit meager, but that's okay. That means I can cast on something else. I still have my Millstream on, and I might dig that out and get some more work on it. I have the front of the Millstream tunic almost finished, and it is in Briggs & Little. And so it was going to be too warm to wear in the summer. So it's not in a naughty corner or anything. I just set it aside to knit other things that were more summer appropriate. So I do have one done, and I'm not even going to put these on my blocker because they're for one of my boys, and my boys have very large feet. This is just a vanilla sock in Opal Jazz, and I don't know if it tells me what the colorway is. Big Band, and it is, I'm gonna say 75-25. Yes, 75 virgin wool, 25 polyamide. I have one done, and these are on my 9-inch circular needles, and I should have keepers on them, but I don't. And these are just absolutely vanilla socks. The yarn doing whatever the yarn's gonna do. And so they have Fish Lips Kiss heel. I've been using the Fish Lips Kiss more lately because I like the way it fits. And if you've never tried it, it is a paid for pattern on Ravelry, but I think it's $1, and it is a ton of information about how to make sure you know exactly where to put your heel and how many stitches and the process. And once you know for each person in your life who you knit for, like once you've done the math, it is an amazing quick little heel that I like it because there's no counting and things. You can pick it up and set it down. You need to have 2 stitch markers in the middle, and that's the only time you need to worry about it, and everything else is just based off the row you knit before. And I think that for me in the car and things like that, and is just an easy way to knit. And you know, everybody, you do you, whatever heel method you love. And I'm not kidding, like you can change almost any sock pattern to suit the heel you love, and do it. Just because the designer uses a certain heel doesn't mean you have to use that same heel. You can use whatever heel you want. And that just frees you up to make sure you have socks that fit the way you want them to. So the next one, we spoke about this earlier. This one I can put on a blocker. I have one done, and one is in the foot. So this is the 2-way stripe of that really great Gauge Dye Works Solar System colorway. Again, the ratios are set up And as I was finishing, as I was working on the sock last night, I went, oh shoot, I should have done the top, the boring part, and done the foot, the fun part. But I'll just have to knit another pair and do them the other way. But I just love this colorway. And this yarn is beautiful. And I am knitting these. This is the Rhinebeck Roomies sock pattern again from Crazy Sock Lady. I do like it. And I am knitting these on my, this is the second sock. And I am 2 rows out because these are identical and should have come out identical. But you can see I have 2 rows of dark purple in the foot of this one that were in the leg of this one. Only I'm going to notice that. I'm knitting these on my Addy Flexi Flips. If you've not knit with these before and get a chance, try them. I really like them. It is essentially magic loop knitting without all the pulling of the cord. And I do really like them. And I'm pretty sure these are 2.25s, might be 2.5s. I like the fabric I get. I like the way it works. And I don't mind anything. Like I did these ones were done on DPNs. And these ones were 2 at a time magic loop. And you just saw my 9-inch circle. Like I use all the methods and I like them all. And I do like these when I'm doing a pattern on the front and none on the back because it keeps all the pattern stitches on one needle. I use these for the Summer Crush with the cabling. They were great for that. They also have this really cool thing and I love it. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it so you can see. See how one tip is pointier than the other? And if you set your yarn up every time so that when you have to do your pickups for your cables, that you're working with the pointy end, and it's just a matter of which, you'll understand. That's great. I think about it. I have other patterns I do where I don't think about it at all. I don't care which tip I'm in. They're both reasonably pointy. One is just pointier than the other. And this is, when you wind the Gauge Dye Works yarn, there is instructions on how to wind it. And I have another pair of Gauge Dye Works socks on too, so you'll see those as well. And there is waste yarn in the middle, so you know when you've gotten, and this is what's left from my first sock. So there's at least one other planet in there that didn't make it in that sock either. So there's probably enough here to do something, shorties maybe, but those are fun. And the Rhinebeck's Roomie is just a 4-row repeat. So once you get it down, it's easy peasy. And I usually do 1x1 ribbing on my cuffs, but these are 2x2 and I quite like it. So those are my Rhinebeck Roomies, and they are in this fun little, I'll hold it up so you can see it, Muppets project bag from Bling Your String. And this, I did, Pretty Little Yarns did a Muppet advent calendar probably 2 years ago now, and that came with it, and that was fun. So this, you've seen this before, this is my Dolphina project bag. It's a little box, and this, I have one of these done, and I'll put it on a blocker. This is an Andrea Rangel pattern, and I think it's called the 3 Seasons Socks. And it was part of Gauge Dye Works does a sock and pattern club, and they release it each month and you can buy it. And then the yarn and the pattern aren't available to the public for a year. So I chose, I think this is spring. And it's got this really nice lace pattern, simple to remember up the front. 1x1 ribbing on the leg and the cuff, and I have a little bit of laddering going on these ones. That happens, that's a mood thing for me. Like how I'm feeling, what's going on affects whether I get laddering or not. And yeah, I just need to pay more attention. It doesn't bother me that much. I usually can block it out. After a couple washes, you don't notice it. But I just love how these change color. And again, this is, you wind it especially so that you take your toes and heel come from the opposite end of the half skein. Once you've wound the half skein, the toes and heel, there's enough of the darker color there that you knit those from there and everything else from the other end. And these are on my Addy Rocket Squared, and I do like these as well. And this one doesn't have as much laddering as the other one did in the ribbing, but a little bit. And I've just started them. I'm just in the first pattern section, and this is a pretty easy pattern to remember as well, which I like. I don't like having to go back to the pattern all the time. And this, yeah, 3 Seasons Colorwork Socks from Gauge Dye Works, and the inside of the label is a ruler if you need it. Just kind of fun. And Andrea Rangel has some beautiful sock patterns as well, so check those out. But so those are, and those are all my whips. You know, I only have right now, I literally only have 3 pairs of socks on the needles, and so yeah, I'm ready to start something bigger, and I have a few things in mind. One, I am going to, when we get into my acquisitions, I'm going to show you, there's a couple of thoughts I have with some of those yarns, and I've got a couple of sweater quantities of different things, so I think I might do a sweater. I'm also thinking about doing Stephen West's shawlology, can't say that word, MCAL 2021. I haven't chosen yarn yet, but I've watched a couple of videos on choosing your yarn. So I might do some stash diving to see if I have anything in there that will work. Otherwise, I might have to go shopping. That could be crazy, to actually go to a store. So one of the things, my friend Marisa at Pretty Little Yarns did a trunk show with Stitch Noir. This was in July, I think. Stitch Noir. And I believe that she's based out of Hamilton, yes, Amanda. And she does some really cool different things. A lot of marling, so think spin cycles. She does a lot of stuff that looks kind of like that. But I chose this fade. And I'm thinking, I mean, if you really think I'm out of whack and crazy, tell me. But I'm thinking of doing Tanis Fiber Arts Rocket Tee, but instead of doing it striped, doing it as a fade. There's more than enough yarn here for that, because these are 50-gram skeins. I could do almost anything with them. But I'm loving this. This colorway was, this fade was called Stone Washed, and I love the speckle, and there's, you know, there's a tonal, couple of tonals, and then some speckles, and the fade is pretty cool. And I just think this would be a great t-shirt for sort of the shoulder seasons when you want something a little bit warmer. And I have a lot, I mean, I have ready-made, like off the shelf, I have several merino t-shirts, and I wear them all summer, and they're quite comfortable. This is 80% merino, 20% nylon, 750-gram skeins, and it is just a gradient set, and the colorway is Stone Washed. Yes, so I really love that, and I love supporting small independent makers and dyers, and I think it's important that we do when we can. But I also understand that we can't always, and there's no reason to not. You know, like if you can't, you can't. That's fine. The other thing I picked up, and I think I got, this was already put away and I only pulled out one. This is from the Small Bird Workshop. Let me see that. Based in, I'm sure, BC. Yes, milled in Italy, dyed in BC, 60% bamboo, 40% cotton, DK weight. And Joji Locatelli has a tunic, and I want to say it's called cedar something. And I thought I might use this for that. This yarn was incredibly inexpensive. I don't know, like she sources her yarns with that in mind. And the shipping was really inexpensive. They came vacuum packed, which I'm absolutely fine with. That's why the skein's a little rough looking, because I did it. But you just take it out, snap it a couple of times, and then you can twist it. She also does a lot of all natural and environmentally sustainable. Like those are all things she thinks about when she dyes and chooses her bases. And this feels really nice. I need to do some reading about how bamboo will behave. I've used bamboo and wool blends, but never a bamboo and cotton blend. So it'll be interesting to figure that out. But this would be great for that as well. So I'm not sure what. And I also got from her, because you know, you're shopping, so you should try something else. This is Barn Swallow Sock, 70% wool, 30% mohair, so an all-natural sock yarn. The mohair gives it the strength it needs. I mean, you wouldn't think that because, you know, when you knit with mohair, you think it's just this fuzzy, fine stuff. So there is a bit of a halo. I love this. I sort of get in color ruts, but I have a ton of red. But then I love these teals. And I love just the way this is kind of tonal, and it's going to give that sort of all over washed look. And it doesn't say where this yarn is sourced from, but I do really like it. And again, that was Small Bird Workshop. So it'll be interesting to see how that knits up. So then some of my other acquisitions. So this started, this is the kind of rabbit holes I go down. I decided I wanted to knit a couple of pumpkins for fall for my centerpiece on my table. And of course, I found this really great pattern and I really liked it. And the yarn was beautiful, but I couldn't find it locally. So with the shipping and the cost of the yarn, it was going to cost me they were going to be $50 pumpkins that sat on my table. Well, I thought that was kind of crazy. So then I thought, okay, I have a couple of oranges in my stash, but they're not the right weight because the pattern I was looking at used a super bulky, and so this is a 6. So then I went looking and I thought, okay, where can I get something that might be more reasonable? So I went on Yarnspirations, which is, yeah, absolutely affordable yarns. Great. Well, they had an over $75 for free shipping, and then they had a buy one get one, and then Sugarbush, which is a brand I like, had a different deal that was even better, and rabbit hole, big rabbit hole. So I found this, which I thought was really nice, and I do have some brown and green to do the leaves, like I already have some. This is Sugarbush Chill in the Fire in the Sky colorway, and it's, not very twisted. I think it'll make cute pumpkins. I got a couple of those. Okay, so that wasn't enough to get to the free shipping part. So then I thought, oh, this just popped up in a you may like, and that's like the end of me. You may like this. Oh yeah, I may like this. So this is Sugarbush Drizzle, 76% kid mohair, 24% silk. Look at that color. Isn't that amazing? It's called Meadow. It is 50 grams. I'm trying to find the 200 meters, or 25 grams, 200 meters. So I've always wanted to knit a ranunculus. So I bought enough to knit a ranunculus because, you know, everyone should own one. And that's a fun pattern. And I also have enough that if I wanted to do another love note, I could do that. I don't know how, I got 6 or 8 of them, which is way more than I needed, but they were on a deal. Like buy so many, get one. Anyway, I love the colors. It looks and feels like me. So I bought that. And then I went, ooh, you may like. And I went, oh yeah, I really may like. And this is Sugarbush Nanaimo, 80% baby alpaca, 20% silk, in this amazing bright pink color called Raspberry. It is just amazing. It is, the weight is fingering. So I could do lots of things with it, including a ranunculus or maybe a love note, although a love note's really a DK. Yeah, they know how to get me. You may like, but I got free shipping because that's the most important thing. And quite honestly, it was really, really good value. I just didn't need 2 more sweater quantities of yarn to go with the 2 balls I needed to make pumpkins. What was I thinking? Like, what was I thinking? So I mentioned that the Gauge Dye Works does their sock or their woolen pattern club, and that it's exclusive for a year. So this was, I believe this was last year's, I can't remember, I don't know if it tells me inside. This is, I don't think it does. This is the colorway Sax Point, and you can see it's got some red, some taupe, some beige, some gray on their 80/20 merino base. And this is, and the pattern that this yarn works, you can do it for something else if you want, but the pattern is designed, the yardages and the winding instructions are designed for the Sax Point sock by Andrea Rangel, and I'll link that down below. So this is my next, one of my next sock cast-ons. This is a colorwork sock, and I haven't done a colorwork sock for quite a while. Oh yes, I did do one last year, but yeah, I'm looking forward to doing these. And I don't know, they might be for my mom because it is her colors for sure. So I love Gauge Dye Works. And again, this was you notice I've had a few, and it's that whole to get to the free shipping point or whatever the deal is point, or to maximize the shipping when you're placing an order. That's another thing. Oh, I also got this, and I got this from when I got the Stitch Noir when Marisa was doing her trunk show. Another Bling Your String bag. I love this fabric, and I love this. So I do like some structured project bags that have the interfacing in them and they're very structured, but I also like the ones that you can just roll down like this. Look at that lining. Isn't that gorgeous? And are just simple and don't, oh, this is how much the yarn chicken was. This is what I had left of my main color when I was done my full moon socks. I did the share pair with Heidi. Yeah. not much. But I really love this project bag. And I need a new project bag like I need a hole in the head. But sometimes you just need to support the makers. And I really love this one. Love those colors. So then Christmas in July happened. And I was able to let a lot of things just go scrolling right past on my Instagram. But as you have heard from my conversations before this, I really love Timber Yarns twin sock sets. Look at this bag. Isn't that gorgeous? This is another Dolphina and Timber Yarns collaboration. I love how she does this little stitch pattern on her zipper install. And look at this. This is called, it's a twin sock, red and black, Santa's boot. It'll be self-striping. Isn't that gorgeous? Can hardly wait to knit those up. I don't know who they'll be for, but that'll be fun. And in this bundle, this was one of their Christmas in July bundles, you also got this really cute Progress Keeper, because isn't that the cutest? Little reindeer and some lovely hot chocolate. But you know, if you're on the site and oh, there's probably a couple of other things I really like, and the shipping won't be that much more if I add them. Honest to goodness. So I picked up 3 minis. These are coral orange. I had a plan for that one. I'm not sure what it is yet. Like, I can't remember what it was. Big red. And a lot of these tonals that she has, you can also buy in like full skeins. And licorice. This is for, this or the red will be the heels and toes on the other socks. And then this was a one of a kind. So, you know, these one of a kind batches are usually mistakes, but that doesn't matter. It was called One of a Kind 3A, but I just love the colors in it. It's the primary. I wonder if this was when she was testing, because she has this beautiful colorway right now called Pencil Crayons, and I wonder if this was when she was doing the testing for that, like trying to get that. I'm not sure, but I just love the colors. And so that's another twin sock set. Because bear in mind, you haven't seen me since, like, this is all from sometime since early July. I did not do all this in a month. This is going back a ways. And I decided I want to do a couple of DK socks. And I know I had bought more than this when I bought this, but like I said, I put it all away. Now I can't remember where it is. But to the Max Yarn Co., they had a free shipping weekend and a sale on some of their sock sets. So I picked up these 2, and I know I got at least one more, but I couldn't find it when I was getting ready. This is their Pride Parade. It comes with 2 minis. And this one was watermelon sugar with 1 mini. And the nice thing about DK socks, and I've knit a few pair already, is that they take no time at all. They knit up really fast, which is great. But I love To the Max Yarn Co. And that's Jody Brown from Mrs. Brown's Bags and the Grocery Girls, and her child. They are the dyers behind this brand, and I really love them. Really cool. And then I have something really special, but first I'm going to show you my subscriptions. And bear in mind that August is put away, and I don't know which one it was. So rather than get it wrong, I decided you can know that I got August, but I don't know where it is. Or July. This is, I think this might be the August of this one. This is my Ancient Yarns. I'm in Ancient Arts Yarns. I do their Socknado's sock club. and I really love their yarn. They do a lot of really, look at the colors in that. This one is called Picnic. Just some really great colors. I just love the way they dye, and their bases are really great. And last year at Christmas time, they provide exclusively to River City Yarns in Edmonton the NHL colors, and I did, I don't know how many pairs of Montreal Canadiens, Team Canada, Boston Bruins. I knit Boston Bruins socks, and if you know anything about me, that would be extremely unusual, but there is a Boston Bruin fan in my life. So this is really nice. I enjoyed this subscription, and the Be Happy from my Vertices Unite was from this as well. And I also get the Yarnable, and this is really a treat for me because this comes out of the US, and everyone knows our dollar is terrible. And I love it because you get fun things in it. So you get a skein of yarn, and then you get a little bag that has all the other things. So this one has 2 reusable snack bags with a cute little sloth on them. Look at that. They're from a company called 3 Sprouts. Designed in Canada, which is really nice. Then some sloth paper clips, because who doesn't love fancy paper clips? You get a card and a discount code each month. And this is the September box. And it's Born to be Mild is brought to you by Taking It Slow, Crisp Morning Air, and Leaf Peeping. Couldn't be more true. And this is really cute, and I haven't put it in my car yet, but I will. And a QR code to learn more about the items in this box, which is fun. This is, you know, those green Christmas tree things you hang in your car all the time? Look at this one. It's a sloth. A passion fruit air freshener. And I'm pretty sure that when the smell goes out of it, I could just put some more essential oils on it and keep it in my car because he's so cute. He's got his coffee. Looks like me in the morning some days. Who knows? But that's kind of fun. You know, those are fun extras to have. And this is the yarn. Look at that. Little pops of turquoise and brown speckles, and there's some red speckles. Maybe they're fuchsia pink. Gray. And it feels amazing. Cheryl from Hypnotic Yarns puts together this box, and this is their plush sock, 85 superwash merino and 15% nylon. It feels so soft, and I am loving it. And I also love that it comes in these great little bags. I actually use these little bags afterwards. I have put my socks right in here, wound the ball, popped it in, and then it rolls down, and it's kind of like they work well as cake keepers. But I love that they're things I can reuse, and that it's not just plastic, as I think that's kind of important. So that's fun. And they're not open all the time for new subscribers. So follow them on Instagram, check out their website, and if you think it's something you might be interested in, you know, you can go in and check it out. I feel like I'm really in shadow, and I'm sorry, I should have maybe gotten some lights, but you know, we're making it happen. This is how we roll. And I don't edit because that's too time consuming. And I don't know what happened the last time, so I'm just hoping it doesn't happen this time, because yeah, we don't need the stress of all that. So as you may know, if you've watched some of my other episodes, I love these little gnomes. And this one was the summer knit along, and this one is just a combination of various gnome patterns that I have, things I liked, but I wanted a little summery gnome. And I have some Christmassy ones, And these are Imagined Landscapes, is the designer. And she does, I mean, these are just beautiful, relatively quick little patterns. And she does these MCALs all the time. So she has one coming up and I signed up for it. And you know, you all know, I have lots of yarn in my stash that would work perfectly for it. But Gingersnap that from Alberta had some beautiful colorways. And so I went on her site and I thought, oh, maybe I'll, you know, support a local, because then I'll get a certain feel. And my friend Heidi is doing this make along as well. And we've done a couple of them together, which is fun. Yeah, well, so I go on Gingersnap That's website and she has these beautiful lifestyle boxes. And I thought, oh, that'll be kind of fun. And I'm just gonna rearrange the box. Comes all wrapped pretty, and the extra yarn I bought is also in here, so I'll pull that out first because that saved me some shipping, which, you know, saving on shipping is important. And so I went to her Etsy shop and I had a look, and you know, I thought, oh, there's some really nice things there. So I did get this Blaze dust fingering. It's 75/25 superwash. This is, it's from her campfire collection, I think. Just love the color. Like, this screams fall to me. And I've always wanted to try some Gingersnap yarn, because I think they do like some amazing, like their pixel is, I've seen so many projects done with it and it's amazing. Every time I go to look at it, it's always sold out. So I thought, oh, that's pretty. I'll get that. Because, you know, I always need a little more yarn in my stash. And then she had this Woodland Gnome lifestyle box. I haven't even opened it all up. It came with these beautiful minis. Woodland Gnome Zest fingering. So 80/20 superwash merino and nylon. There's a total of 150 grams in here. Look at those colors. Sorry for the crinkle. Isn't that amazing? That's great. And then it came with this really cute little bag with the mushrooms on it, so I can put it in there. And a little gnome card by Maggie B. And then a whole bunch of goodies, which I haven't even looked at yet. So we're gonna look at them together. So they came in this really pretty cellophane bag. And there's a little brick bubble gnome button. Let's see if we can focus right in on that. Isn't that gorgeous? There is a Gingersnap That gnome keyring. There are some Gnomey gift tags. Some lovely woodland stickers, some little mushrooms and things. A beautiful, and if you know that I love to read, a beautiful gnome bookmark with a lovely tassel. And this really, really cute, who is this by? Whimsy and Sassy Gnome Progress Keeper. And a pattern code for the Garden Gnome Cowl by Hand Knit by Cam. So, am I going to knit the cowl with this? Or am I going to use it to make my gnome for the MCAL? I think I'm going to use it for my gnome. I've gone really dark again. Let's see if we can brighten me up. No, not really. Sorry. It hides all my bad features though, which is great. So I got that. That was a thing. Did I need it? Probably not. Is it okay that I got it because it makes me happy? Yep. It's in my budget. It's okay. It has been, great chatting with you about all the things that are going on here. Don't zoom in on my vegetable garden. It is an absolute mess. We went to the East Coast for 10 days, 12 days, and I don't know how it was in pretty good shape when I left, and by the time I got back, it was like ahead of me, and I could not catch up. My garden out front looks beautiful, and I will maybe post separately, because that was the problem last month. I tried to add the shots of my garden to it, and that just didn't work. So I'll maybe do a separate post with my front garden, and you can really hear the birds singing it out there, because that's where I feed them. So they love to visit me there. And yes, I hope your summer's going well. I hope back to school was good, if that was a thing that happened in your life. If you are in the Southern Hemisphere and it is now winter, I hope you're loving all this squishy, warm knits and knitwear. We don't have a whole lot planned here. I'm almost done. I don't know if I've mentioned this on here. I was working a full-time gig doing it was supposed to be short-term, but it's been over a year, helping a friend out with some stuff with their business, and that's winding down now, and just back to doing my own thing, which is kind of good, which means I should have some more time for knitting and for people, which is great, because a lot of my people are available during the day and I wasn't, so that makes a difference. And I'd just love to hear from you. I'd love if you would comment what you're up to and what you're doing. And if you enjoyed this chat and seeing all my crazy antics, please give my video a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't want to miss my next round of crazy, because it's gonna happen. Yarn really does make me happy, and sometimes all I need to do is touch it. Knitting is fabulous. It just gives me a sense of peace and well-being, and helps me take my mind off other things, allows me to keep my hands busy when I'm watching television or doing things like that, or driving in the car. I probably would be world's worst passenger if I didn't knit, but I do knit, so that's okay. And I would love to hear from you and what you're up to. And I'm sorry that this is a little dark, but it was brighter when I started, and I can't do anything about the clouds. They come and they go, and they don't listen to me. The birds have gone, so I wonder if maybe we've got something rolling in. Who knows? Take care, everyone. I would love to hear from you. You can find my projects on Ravelry, and I will link it all below. I'm lastoop, L-A-S-T-O-O-P on Ravelry. So from here in beautiful southwestern Ontario, while the weather is still quite lovely, bye for now. Hopefully it won't be so long till next time. Have a great day.